Hello everybody, welcome to Yoga for Self-Love with Kim. I am Kim. This will be a short, slow flow Vinyasa practice today. We'll open up our whole body, bring some focus to the side body, which in turn will help to open up everything else, low back, open up through the spine, find some spaciousness. So let's begin on our mat in child's pose. You can take your version of child's pose, either knees together or the knees wide, the big toes coming towards each other behind you. Settle your bum back to your heels. And then allow yourself to melt down onto the mat. You can bring your forehead down to the mat or make a little pillow with the forearms or stack one fist on top of the other. Tuck your fists underneath your forehead, or you could use a block here or a blanket. Get into your comfy child's pose. If you like, you could rock your hips from side to side. And allow yourself to find a little stillness. Let yourself arrive. Let go of the rest of your day. Allow yourself to be present right now. Taking this time for you, your body, your breath, your practice. I invite you to bring in the intention to be gentle, kind, patient, loving, and compassionate with yourself as you move through this practice. And if you choose to carry the intention off of the mat and out into the world with you. And everything relax here. The face, the jaw, shoulders, the back body, the front of the body, the belly, the buttocks, the hips, the feet, the legs, everything soften. Take a few nice, deep, smooth, and steady breaths here, filling up your whole body with your breath. Finding every nook and cranny in your lungs, every remote corner. Fill the back of the lungs up with your breath, the front of the lungs. And then begin to call yourself back, and we will start to slowly move. Staying in your child's pose, let's walk the hands over to the right. Bring your torso over towards the right, over that right knee, thigh. You can release your forehead down to the floor or rest it on your right hand or forearm. Reach out through the left fingers. If you like, you can come up onto the left finger pads and tent the fingers. And then we'll slowly walk it through center. Come over to the other side, bringing the torso over that left knee, thigh. Hands over towards that left side of the mat. Again, if you like, you can rest forehead on your left hand or your arm. Maybe come up onto right finger pads, tent those fingers. Feel this opening through the whole right side. And then we'll walk everything back to center. And then come up into a table. So bring your knees to about hip width. Now from our table, let's draw the feet in towards the bum. Walk your hands forward just a little bit. Begin to lower the pelvis and the hips down towards the mat as you hug your feet in towards your bum. Lift up through your heart. And then pull your feet back. Draw your belly in. Send your bum and your feet back, coming back into a little child's pose. And then again, we'll bring it forward, draw feet in towards the bum, allow your pelvis to lower down towards the mat, Lift your heart. And then again, your bum and your feet pull you back into that child's pose. Let's do it one more time. Feet tucking in towards the bum. Bring yourself forward, lower the pelvis down, lift up through your heart. And then slowly bring it back into your child's pose. And we'll come back up into our table. Now bring the knees together. We'll lift up the shins, drop them over to the right side of the mat. Lift up your left leg so it's just hovering a little bit above the mat and pressing in towards that right leg. Walk the right hand up the mat a little bit. Lift that left arm up and over your ear, finding some space through that left side. And then extend that left leg down the mat. Plant the foot, toes pointing out to the side. Pressing down through that right hand as you lift up through the right palm, all the way up through that right arm, up into the armpit. And then we'll bring that left arm back down, bend that left knee, bring that leg back in, take left hand down to the mat, and then bring your legs to center, keeping legs together. Let's take it to the other side. Drop the legs over to the left. Pick up that right leg a little bit, but hug it in towards the left. Press into that left hand and reach that right arm up and over the ear. And extend right leg down the mat. And then we'll bring that right arm down. Right leg comes back in to meet the left. Let's take that right hand back down to the mat. Bring yourself back in to center. Now find your way down onto your belly, and then we'll roll over onto the right side. Stack the legs, feet stacked on top of each other. Come all the way down to that right side, bend your elbow, tuck it underneath the back of your head. Take the left fingers in front of you. Then we'll lift that left leg up towards the ceiling. Release that leg down. Again, lift that left leg up a couple times. We'll keep this left hip in a neutral rotation so toes are pointing forward towards that long edge of your mat. And then release that left leg down to stack on top of the right. Now we'll bend that left knee. Step that foot about halfway up the mat. And then we'll plant the left hand down onto the mat. Lift yourself up and plant that right palm down to the mat. You can allow your rib cage to drop down towards the mat so you find some nice opening through this whole right side here. Let that right shoulder hunch up towards the ear. You can press that left hand into that left knee. And then we'll root down into the right finger pads, right hand. Root down into the left foot and into the pinky toe side of that right foot. Begin to lift that right hip up off of the mat. Reach that left arm up over the ear. Really strong down through that right hand, clawing the mat with the finger pads. Stay here, or we'll step that left leg out to stack up on top of the right, coming into a side plank. Stay here, or we'll take it to Wild Thing. Step that left foot back behind you, so it may come off the mat a little bit. Lift your heart up towards the ceiling and take your left hand, tuck it behind the back of your head. Lift the heart up. Press down into that right hand, super strong. And then we'll release the hand from behind the head. Step that left leg back, stack it back on top of the right. Lift up through the hips, back into your side plank. We'll step the left foot back in front of the right leg. Slowly lower yourself all the way down to the mat. And then come all the way down onto your belly. Let's take it over to the other side and do the same thing. Roll over onto the left side. Stack the legs. Tuck your hand behind the back of your head and then tent your right fingers in front of you. Move through these leg lifts, lifting up through right leg, keeping that hip in neutral rotation. Lower the leg. Couple more times, lifting, lowering. And then lower that right leg down. Now we'll step that right foot about halfway up the mat. And gently press that right knee, right thigh away from you with that right hand. Now we'll plant that right hand on the mat. Lift yourself up and bring that left hand down to the mat. Press into the left fingers. Arch or hunch that left shoulder up towards the ear. Let the left side of the rib cage drop down towards the mat. Take a breath or two here. Nice, deep and steady. And then we'll root down into the left finger pads, root down into that right foot, pinky toe side of the left foot, and begin to lift your left hip up off of the ground. Reach that right arm up over the ear. Stay really strong down through that left hand. Stay here, or we'll step the right foot back, stack it up on top of the left. Side plank, or we step that right foot off of the mat. Take that right hand back behind your head and spin your heart up towards the ceiling for Wild Thing. Breath or two here. And then we'll stack that right leg back on top of the left. Come back into your side plank, really strong through that left hand. Lift up through the hips. Step that right foot back up the mat and slowly lower that left hip all the way down. Roll over on to your belly, hands underneath the shoulders. Press yourself up into a table position. And we'll step right foot out to the right side. Walk yourself up, come up to stand on that left foot shin. Take the right hand, slide it down that right leg. As you reach that left arm up over the ear, begin to fold yourself over to the right. Coming into our gate pose. And then we'll lift it all the way up. Now take the left hand over to the left side. Maybe you roll up onto your right heel here as you reach right arm up overhead. Reaching out through those right fingers. And then bring yourself back up to center. One more time, we'll take the right hand, slide it down that right leg, left arm reaching up over the ears. You fold over to the right. And then back up through center. Take left hand over to the left side, right arm sweeps up over the ear. Bring yourself back up to center. We'll take it to the other side. Step right foot in, step left foot out. Walk yourself up. Come up to stand on that right knee, foot, shin. Take the left hand to the top of that left leg, right arm up along the ear. We'll gently fold it over to the left now. The left hand slides down the leg as you go. And then pick yourself all the way back up. Let's reach over to the right side. Right hand down to the mat. Maybe you roll up onto left heel. Left arm moves up and over the ear. And then we'll bring it back up. Again, we'll take it to gate pose. Left hand slides down the leg. You fold it over to the left. And then lift yourself back up. Come back through center. Right hand comes down to the mat. Left arm sweeps up over the ear. And then bring yourself back up. Hands come down to the mat. Step that left foot in. Come back in to your table. Now let's tuck toes under. Press into the hands. Glide hips up and back. Find your downward dog. And find what you need here. Movement or stillness, your choice. Pedal out your legs. Bend, straighten the knees. Whatever feels right. Or you just stay and breathe. Crouch yourself down, belly to thighs, come into tiger dog, and then glide the hips up into downward dog. Bend the knees again, crouch it down. Let's send right leg up for a three-legged dog. Bend the right knee, bring it into the chest, shift yourself forward to core plank, and then step that right foot through to that right thumb. Drop that left knee down to the mat. Lift yourself up, coming into our low lunge. Fingers reach up, belly lifts, low back sweeps in and up. Press down through the feet. Take the right fingers over to the right side of the mat. You could use a block here if you like. Then we'll fold over to that right side, left arm up over the ear. And then back up into your low lunge. Hands down to the mat, tuck the back toes under. Let's step it back into down dog. Crouch yourself down, tiger dog. Now send that left leg up, three-legged dog. Bend that knee, shift yourself forward, core plank. Step that left foot through. We'll drop that right knee to the mat. Now lift yourself up into low lunge. Arms reach up. Let's take the left fingers down to a block or down to the left side of the mat. Right arm reaches up, spine nice and long, and then fold it over to the left. Reaching up and out through those right fingers. Feel that opening through the front of that right hip. Back up you come, hands down to the mat, tuck the back toes under, step yourself back into downward dog. Bend your knees, crouch yourself down, roll yourself forward into plank. Lift the hips up and back, downward dog. And bend your knees, crouch down, roll yourself forward, find your plank. And we'll bring the right hand up a few inches over towards center of the mat. Roll yourself over, stack the feet, press down into that right hand. Reach that left arm up and over the ear, finding your side plank. Left hand comes back down. Bring that right hand back to where it came from. Come back through your plank. And we'll take it to side plank on the other side. Bring that left hand a little bit more towards the center of the mat, maybe up a little bit. Roll over onto that left foot, pinky toe side of the foot, right leg stacks on top. Reach that right arm up over the ear. Lifting through the hips. No collapsing, no dumping down here. Press the floor away from you. And then we'll take it back into our plank. And then glide hips back into downward dog. And step or hop it up to the top of your mat. Fold it into your ragdoll forward fold. Shake out your head, your neck. Rock your hips if you like. And then hands to hips, soften the knees and come all the way up. Let's reach the arms up overhead and hands down to your heart. Reaching the arms up. Then we'll fold it in. Forward fold, bring it halfway up. And then plant hands down to the mat. Step yourself back to plank. Lower your knees down. Lower the belly, pelvis. Come all the way down onto your belly. Hug the elbows in. Lift your heart up forward, baby cobra. And release down, tuck toes under. Glide the hips up into downward dog. Bend your knees, crouch it down, tiger dog. Send right leg up, three-legged dog. Bend the right knee, shift it forward, find your core plank, and step right foot through. Turn and drop that left foot, toes out to the side. Bend both knees, press down into the earth as you lift up and open to long edge of the mat, coming into warrior two. Bend that right knee, open the arms. Take right hand to that right thigh, left hand to the left hip. Begin to straighten that right leg or make it straighter. You could still have a little bend in the knee here. We'll take it into a triangle, sides of the body nice and long, folding from that right hip. Right hand can come to your shin, your thigh, the mat, a block. Left hand can stay on the hip or reach up towards the ceiling. Maybe reach the arm up and over the ear. Left hand comes back to the hip. Soften that right knee, lift yourself back up, and we'll open it into our warrior two again. Hands down to the mat, step yourself back into your plank. Lower the knees down, come all the way down to the belly. Elbows hug in, root into fingers, toes, pubic bone. Lift yourself up. Maybe if you feel ready, take it to full cobra. And release yourself down, tuck toes. Glide your hips up and back into your down dog. Crouch it down. Send that left leg up for a three-legged dog. We'll bend that left knee, shift it forward, core plank. Step that left foot through. Turn and drop the right foot. Toes pointing out to the side. Bend both knees. Root down into the earth. Lift up. Open it out to the long edge of the mat and find warrior two. Other side. Left knee bends. Arms reach wide. Gazing over your front fingers. Maybe a little smile. And then we'll take left hand to that left thigh. Right hand to the right hip. Begin to straighten that left leg. Pull that hip back. Fold yourself over to the left. Right arm reaching up or over the ear. And then right hand comes back down to the hip. Soften that left knee. Press into the earth. Lift yourself back up. And open it back out into your warrior two. Let's take hands down to the mat. Step yourself back to plank. And now either lower yourself all the way down onto your belly and move into a cobra, or we'll take it into chaturanga, low push-up, and then upward dog. Roll forward on your toes, bend your elbows, lower yourself about halfway down, keeping shoulders above the level of the elbows. And then come onto the tops of your feet. Keep your thighs lifted. Pull your heart forward for upward dog. And then we'll meet back in our downward dog. Step or hop it up top of the mat. Fold yourself in. Press into the earth. Rise up. Palms together overhead and hands back to heart. Reach the arms up. Fold in. Halfway lift, flat back. Plant hands down to the mat and step it back to plank. Move through your vinyasa. So you find your way down to your belly, move it into cobra, or you take that chaturanga upward dog. Meeting back in our downward dog. Crouch it down, send the left leg up. Bend that left knee, shift forward, step that left foot through. Turn and drop that right foot to the mat. Bend the knees, lift up and open into your warrior two. Take left hand to that left thigh, right hand to right hip. Straighten that left knee, left leg as you fold over to the left, coming into triangle. Then press into that left foot, lift yourself back up, and bend that left knee, come back into your warrior two. Take right hand to the right thigh, left arm up over the ear, and arch yourself back into a reverse warrior. And then begin to straighten that left leg. And then we'll bend that left knee. Lift it back up into your warrior two. Take hands back down to the mat. Step yourself back into your plank and find your flow. Meeting back in downward dog. Let's crouch down. Send right leg up. Bend the knee, shift forward, core plank. Step right foot through. Turn and drop left foot. Bend the knees, press into the earth, lift up and open into your warrior two. Right hand to the right thigh, left hand to the hip. Begin to straighten right leg, pull that hip back, fold yourself over to the right side. Find your triangle. Left hand comes back to the hip. Right hand comes back up. Soften that right knee. Let's open it back into warrior two. And then take it to reverse warrior. Left hand to that left thigh. Right arm up over ear. And then straighten that right leg. Bend that right knee. Come back through your warrior two. Hands come back to the mat. Step it back to your plank. Find your flow. Meet back in downward dog. From your down dog, find some movement. Pedal the legs. Bend and straighten knees. And drop your knees down to the mat. Come back to sit on your heels. Let's take palms together at the heart. And close your eyes. And come back to your breath. And back to our intention to be gentle, kind, patient, loving, and compassionate with ourselves. Cross your arms over your chest. Give yourself a little hug, little squeeze. Open the arms wide. Cross the other arm on top. Give yourself another little hug. And then palms back together at your heart. Thank you so much for sharing this short, slow flow vinyasa practice with me today. With love and gratitude, namaste.